Die fat or get tough. 101 differences in thinking between fat people and fit people. Steve, something else you talk about in your book, which is very controversial, is you say getting fit will increase your income. What is the correlation there?
Oh, I get this question all the time, and there is a direct correlation between getting fit and income. I mean, you're going to have more energy, more enthusiasm, more power, just more personal power. I mean, and plus, the other part about it is people discriminate against fat people.
I agree.
I mean, we're not supposed to do it. Don't judge a book by its cover, and we all do it.
Right.
And it's sad, but the potential for money, for increasing your income is huge. And I don't think people really make this connection. It's very linear, but I don't think most people make the connection.
That's very true. A lot of weight loss programs advocate taking a gradual approach to losing weight, but you reject this idea in your book. You also say that 99% compliance to your diet and exercise plan is terrible. So how can being 99% compliant be off the mark? What does that mean?
This is one of the biggest problems with the obesity epidemic in America, is that it's this gradual hand-holding. Oh, honey, you can do it. Just lose a few pounds at a time. Don't struggle. Don't, push yourself too much. This is a war, and it's a war you have to win if you're going to be healthy. If you're not going to die fat and die young and have all these diseases associated with obesity, you're going to have to treat this like a war. You don't go in a war and say, well, we're just going to sort of take it slow. We'll shoot the people we don't really, that look kind of funny or whatnot. It's a war. I mean, it's not a pretty thing. It's a tough thing to do. You've got to go in and knock it out and get out of there. 99% is a slippery slope. 99% becomes 90, and I did the same thing. It becomes 80, and all of a sudden I say, oh, I'll start over on Monday. I don't have to do it because I already blew it anyway.
Right.
And all of a sudden you're right back to where you started from.
Right. Well, I think something that's really clear that you've made clear on the back of your book is you just put the picture of a graveyard.
Yeah, that was not too. Subtlety is not my best thing, Grayson.
Which, I mean, it doesn't get any more clear than that. If you don't smarten up, this is where you're headed.
It's a creepy graveyard, too.
And it is
it's a little creepy.
It is very creepy, which is an excellent visual, if nothing else. You also talk about the effect that being fat has on a person's sex life. Do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, this is dangerous ground, I know.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, objective reality. Fat is unattractive, fat is ugly. And I know a lot of people say, well, my spouse doesn't mind, my spouse loves me. Well, of course your spouse loves you, of course your partner loves you. There's no question about that.
Right.
But we're just talking about attraction. For example, if the person wasn't your spouse or wasn't your committed partner and they had a blind date with you, would they go on a second date if you were fat? I don't know the answer, but fat is not attractive, as we all know, and we're covering it up by saying, "Oh no, that's okay, you look fine." And the person says, "Well, they don't even mind that I'm 50 pounds overweight." Oh, they mind.
Yeah,
I guarantee you, they mind. It's just unattractive.
Why did you decide to make this book so in your face and so controversial?
Because of the phenomena, again, of psychological self-delusion. It's really what I do with sales teams, but I've never seen another topic, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I've never seen another topic, any other topic, that there was so much delusion, again, perpetuated by people with themselves and with people they love, but also by the mass media. This idea that, oh, it's okay to be 50 pounds overweight. It's okay to be, you're still healthy if you're 100 pounds overweight. There's so much delusion because this is such a personal problem in the United States that I think it takes very, very straight talk to cut through, to slice through like a knife through that psychological self-delusion. I didn't write it this way to be a jerk.
Right.
This book, I read it the second time, honestly, in the second edit. It offended me, Grayson. I'm not kidding. I thought, wow, fat people are liars and all these other things I said. It is offensive, and I get it, and it's not for the purpose of being a jerk. It's for the purpose of cutting through self-delusion and getting people into objective reality.
How can people get their hands on this book?
You go to a very subtle website called diefatbook.com. Thought I'd be subtle about it, hint around a little bit.
Steve, I want to go through some of the quotes in your book to give people some more information. You say fat people expect results without change. Fit people expect results through personal change. What does that mean?
Right. I think this goes really into willpower.
Okay.
Again, another pervasive idea out there is, you can't lose weight through willpower. Willpower doesn't work.
Yeah.
Really. I want to eat McDonald's cheeseburgers all the time. I don't eat it, I walk away. That's willpower.
Right.
That's mental toughness. Willpower does work. Willpower is another thing that works every single time. But again, it's like we talked earlier, it's like a budget or a health club. It's not easy. I'm not saying this is easy to do. It's difficult. There's no question. No, it really isn't. I mean, it's a tough thing to do, but it is doable, and willpower is really the answer. And mental toughness, of course, is the key to willpower. So I think you're right. I mean, I think fat people do expect change without any kind of, they don't have to change themselves to make this happen. They're going to have to change, no question about it.
Something else you bring up in the book, fat people believe that obesity won't kill you, whereas fit people believe and know that obesity will kill you. How does that even begin to enter someone's realm of reality? I mean, I just know immediately, yeah, if I weigh 300 pounds, I'm going to die an early death and I'm going to have diabetes and all kinds of different diseases from this. How can a fat person not understand that concept?
I don't really know the answer to that, honestly, but after interviewing hundreds of fat people, they really don't believe it's a problem. A lot of them say, no, I'm really healthy. You're 150 pounds overweight. You're 55 pounds overweight. You're 70 pounds, whatever. And they go, oh yeah, but my doctor says I'm healthy. And I go, is your doctor fat? Yes, get a skinny doctor. Right. I mean, and it's just, the delusion is so thick, Grayson. These people aren't stupid. It's just that they're so delusional in their thinking that they really don't believe it's a problem. They will die of obesity if they don't solve the problem. Not to mention all of the related illnesses and diseases that come along with obesity, and also the diseases and illnesses it exacerbates.
Exactly.
It's not to mention that. They're going to die. That's why we put the graveyard on the back, to shock people into objective reality, to say, hey, you need to solve this, and you need to solve it now, while you have a choice.
Exactly. Something else you say in the book, fat people are trapped in adolescent thinking, while fit people grow up and get tough with themselves. What does that mean to you?
I did this. I followed so many of these fat person thinking pieces. It's kind of unbelievable that I wrote a book on it, but I really understand the other side of it. I really was thinking, I was looking in the mirror when I gained my weight, and I was honestly looking in the mirror, I hate to say it, but it's true, and thinking, I look okay.
Yeah.
Essentially, a psychologist would say, I'm thinking like a child, because again, I'm deluding myself. It's the boogeyman under the bed. There really is no boogeyman, but I've convinced myself emotionally that the boogeyman exists. I've convinced myself emotionally that I'm really not that fat when I really am that fat, and I need to solve it. So essentially, I'm thinking like a child thinks. And what fit people do is they grow up. They look in the mirror, they grow up and say, okay, I need to stop listening to the mass media. I need to stop listening to companies and organizations that are profiting from obesity. There is a lot of money, billions of dollars, as you know, in people being fat.
Of course.
It's a lot of money. It's a big, big growth industry. No pun intended.
Yeah.
And they need to grow up really and realize, hey, you know what? I've got to take control of my own life, take responsibility, solve the problem.
You also say in your book that fat people think they have forever to change, while fit people, we have a sense of urgency. What does that mean? I
just interviewed so many fat people that said, oh, I'm going to get to it in the summer when the kids are out of school. I'm going to, after the holidays, because we're having people over. I've got to cook for the people.
Right.
I can tell you just story after story about this. I'm going to get to it. Next year is my year, boy. I'm going to set a New Year's resolution to do this. And a lot of those people, unfortunately, are probably still not here because they ran out of time. Being obese is like having a ticking time bomb called your heart in your body, and it could go off at any time. But these people, again, through the phenomena of psychological self-delusion, believe somehow that they have forever, and they don't. And hopefully they're going to make it. Hopefully this book will help. But some of them are not, unfortunately, because of this delusional thinking.
Any final words of wisdom or advice for people who are watching this and are sick and tired of being fat?
I do, and I want to say this as nicely and as lovingly as I can, but I know it's going to sound harsh to people who haven't made a decision yet.
Right.
If you haven't made a decision to lose weight, make it. Make it right now. You have no idea what the benefits are on the other side that are waiting for you. Some of the things we've talked about, money, relationships, I mean, feeling good about yourself, self-esteem. It just goes on and on. Grow up emotionally. Face yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror. Face what you've done here to yourself. It's all your fault. It's not cortisol. It's not the food companies. It's your 100% responsibility. Don't feel bad. Most of the country has done it to themselves, including me.
Right.
Grow up emotionally, get tough with yourself, make a decision that you are going to take 100% responsibility for your life. Study this book, study the way fit people think, and leave the fat thinking behind, and watch your life change in every way. The benefits are just too many we'd need 2 hours to talk about the benefits. And just know, the last thing I just want to say about this is, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. If you failed every single time to lose weight before, I promise you, if I can do it and if a lot of other people can do it, you can do this. It's something you can do. Get the book, study it, make it happen.
And again, the book is Die Fat or Get Tough, 101 Differences in Thinking Between Fat People and Fit People.